Hey now, this is Foo Fighter, and I'm starting a new page called the Suburban Shaman. Recently, I realized that I was a shaman of a sort, in that I'd gone through some personal transition and change, like they say the shamans did, except they use psychedelic drugs, and I did via the internet. So, the way that happened was some 10 years ago, I got a job at a desk doing technical writing, and it sounded great. But after a couple years, I started going crazy. I was always a big book reader, but when I came home from work, I didn't want to read. I would just sit and watch television. So I noticed something changed. Um, Part of the reason was my job was very visually fatiguing, and that I had to be visually and mentally fatiguing, in that I had to look at technical schematics and translate them and write down work instructions, and I had to be very, very precise. And it started driving me crazy. So as an outlet, I would take breaks at work and go on the internet, but I didn't want to read web pages, so I sought audio content and found my way to a guy named Bob Dobbs. And Bob had a lot of audio up there. This is a little bit before YouTube. YouTube wasn't so popular, so you really had to look. It wasn't all just thrown in your face like YouTube does. And he opened this whole acoustic space where he would talk about all this crazy stuff, and I could listen to it. And in the contrast to my work had to be right. It had to be precise. I could just listen to this guy who basically acted like the voice of the internet, just talking on all these different subjects, and I did not care whether he's right or wrong or indifferent. It was just a release for the other side of my brain that was being so diminished by the very technical, rigorous, I guess, left brain nature of the work I did. So I knew I was looking for something, and I listened to Bob's stuff. Bob had a lot of followers. He had his whole thing. They got a little frustrated with me for not properly learning his jargon and stuff like that. But I tried to tell him, look, I'm taking a break from learning stuff. Being competent is exhausting, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. So, unbeknownst to myself, I was on some kind of personal journey. And as the acoustic stuff, the audio stuff on the internet developed, I mean, you found all this stuff on YouTube, all this esoteric stuff. Basically, all the religions and all the mysteries and secrets of the world are kind of laid at your feet these days. And, I really dug into that. And the internet became kind of like a trip, like the shamans go through. They go into a trip, they have travail, they get through it, and they come out the other side. So that's why I realized that I'm a shaman of a sort. And after a while, I did kind of change my brain, and I feel I look at things different through people like Bob and many, many others. I say he's one lens I look through. There are plenty of others I do as well. So we'll talk some about that. So this site is about personal transformation and how the internet can be sort of like a psychedelic trip in some ways. Certainly not, like doing ayahuasca or anything like that. But welcome, and hopefully we have some good conversations. Cheers.